Okay, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. One of the things that happens every year in Winnipeg, or usually when there's not a pandemic, is the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. And as a music show, I feel like I've ignored that festival for a while, just because it seems like theater and music don't really have a connection, but they obviously do. And I've even seen music-related shows at the Fringe over the years. And so the guest on this episode is someone who is performing at the Fringe this year, and is also a musician and a radio host. And I think that the best way to kind of kick this off is if you just want to introduce yourself and give a bit of background about what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm Tanis Kelm, and I perform as Hörs, and I DJ as Liar. I have a radio show on CKW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg, and that's called Listening Pleasures. And yeah, I wrote a play. I wrote the songs a long time ago, and it just weird things kept on happening that I just couldn't ignore anymore. So I took the songs, some of the songs that I'd wrote about that were involved with those weird happenings, and fit them in a play.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm more comfortable as a singer than an actress, but the songs sort of ground me. So
Okay.
So yeah, it's easier to write around songs. I don't know.
That makes sense, I guess, right? Because you have the
Good
basis of what
soundtrack,
you're doing.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Do
Yeah.
you have you written a play before? Like, this seems like a difficult thing to get into if you're going from music and music alone to then suddenly jumping into theater. Like you said, the songs kind of provide the basis for that, but I imagine it's a totally different set of tools you have to use to create something for theater versus something for just performing songs on stage.
You cut out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so did you. It's okay. I'll ask it again. I was going to say, have you written anything play-wise in the past? Because I imagine it's a different set of tools you have to use as a creative person to, write songs to be performed as songs, and then to put something together as a larger project to be acted out on stage.
Yeah, I had wonderful drama teacher in high school, and we did a production that of course was already written for us, and the last year we wrote our own, so we sort of had that basis of how a structure goes, and we sort of broke that apart, and we wrote it for PTE, like just because we'd been to their festival before. So and I wrote a song for that. So that sort of like gave me a little bit of confidence, and that was specifically for that play. So yeah, like I think music and theater and well, musical theater, it's not a musical. It's just songs inside. I'd say it's a soundtrack more than a musical, but yeah, I think music is vital to everything. So yeah.
I agree with that for sure. Do you had you already been writing these songs like with this kind of overarching themes before you even thought of getting involved in the Fringe, or was this something that was specifically written for this?
Yeah, they were all written before, and I had no idea I was going to do this. I sort of wanted to do a play that explained some of my songs, but like I said, like I felt I had to do this because I'd probably like vaporize or like get struck by lightning if I didn't, because of just the things that occur around the entire play. It's sort of an oddball humor, sort of weird coincidence kind of thing, and everything fell into place. So that's, yeah, it helped that there were songs, because yeah,
Sure.
I don't know if I could do a whole hour of just a one-woman show without that aspect to it.
So the play has an interesting name, and I think maybe that's a good way to get into kind of what it is about. What are these coincidences? What is some of this topical subject matter you're going to be addressing in the play?
Yeah, it's called List of People I've Killed, a Love Story. And yeah, like it's not, yeah, like I get into some dramedy stuff. So it's basically this could or could not have happened uh any other way. I don't know. I don't know. Um it's yeah, it's hard to explain without like actually like I've tried to explain just this to people, and the best way to do it is by the play. People speak with me from beyond the grave.
Okay.
I have a couple of examples of that. Weird weird things happen after certain things in my life happen, and also I've written the songs before and then something happens, so it all sort of ties together. And uh, Stephen Hawking is at the end, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. As one of the people talking from beyond the grave.
Yeah, like I've killed Alan Rickman, Peter Fonda, Gord Downey, Lemmy
Okay.
Kilmister. Like it's a wide range of music and actors and people that you really, really love.
Yeah.
And I just felt that yeah, I could do that comically, but also wrap it all up in a serious manner as
Okay.
well. Yeah, because yeah, I don't know, like yeah, it's weird to talk about. But yeah,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
like
Well, it sounds like something that needs to be seen to
okay,
be
sorry.
fully understood, right?
Yeah,
So,
there's
so
like a whole bunch going on that um, is um, associated with the play, and or I want to get into that. I'm going to warn people that there are triggers and that you might not, you know, come out of it the same way as you went late, and make you think about it
okay.
anyways.
And this is happening at the planetarium, right?
Yes, the Planetarium Auditorium. I have like 8 dates, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. There's
Well, it's a
air
cool.
conditioning.
It's a cool venue. I mean, I know that there's so many different venues for the Fringe every year, but did you choose the planetarium or did they just hand it to you?
No. um, Years to actually get this going, because it was ready, and then I was starting to do everything, and then the pandemic hit, and then all the venues shut down. So it's yeah, it's a little bit of a long wait, and it's changed multiple times. Um, yeah, I wrote and rewrote my main monologue like out, well, for 2 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, uh, it's very different from when it started, but I guess it gave me time. The Planetarium Auditorium is large, and
Yeah, it's big. Yeah,
they
yeah.
assure me that my voice will be projected properly. So that was
Okay.
what I was really worried about. So hopefully people come to um, yeah, the show as well. That's another thing you worry about at the
Of
Fringe.
course, yeah. With a big venue like that too, right? You want to make sure you get a decent sized audience.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's weird to flyer and handbill and all of those things. Like I've definitely had posters up before to announce shows, but this is a whole different animal, social media and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just there with yeah.
Well, and you're competing with every other Fringe show too, right? There's so many Fringe shows every year, and I mean, you
Yeah.
go downtown to the Exchange, and there's posters on literally every surface you can find. So, how do you? I mean, how do you kind of navigate that and make your show stand out among just the barrage of Fringe content? Like, do you have a way to kind of get yours heard? Is the music part of it maybe the key for some people to that might want to check out the songs in addition to the theater aspect?
Well, I'm hoping that the songs help with other aspects, because I'm a singer first, songwriter, and so this is sort of a way to introduce that. And the way to introduce play, I have this like phenomenal poster. I have a radio show, and before the pandemic, I'd have guests on every
Yeah.
week. So I had a photographer, Robert Wilson, on. As soon as I found out that I got in on the lottery, I told him about it, and we got it in before the pandemic. So that was awesome. We got it going, and yeah, I love the picture. I feel like a poster can really, it's like weird enough that people might, well, no, you'll definitely be drawn to it.
Okay. Okay.
It's yeah.
For people who aren't familiar with the music side of what you do, how would you just sort of describe yourself as a songwriter, as a musician?
I am like a singer-songwriter. I guess it's along the folk line. Maybe a little indie, maybe a little punk. I don't know. I'm more lyrically driven because I can't play my instrument very well. Like guitar's good, but like I'd rather just sing in a band
Yeah.
instead of having to play. I'd write the songs, but like recently I've had songs interpreted by my friend Snarky Remarkable, and he's gotten a whole bunch of people that he knows to layer music over it. And yeah, it's really great to hear. I can't even hear my guitar. So yeah, and I say, yeah, that aspect is great for me. And this album, like I'm releasing an EP along with it, just with the tracks that and that is just, well, I told him to simplify it. So it's just me and the guitar, sort of what you'd hear if you went to the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, mistakes and all. Because I've heard that, it's just a different day, new mistakes. So yeah, I try to keep that in my mind. Just like, yeah,
Right.
it's yeah, it's fun. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. So
Oh, of course. Yeah. 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 How do the songs, like, on the EP, how do the songs work without having the theatrical part of it? Do they work as standalone pieces of music, that, or I mean, I assume they're just magnified and helped and strengthened by having the full fringe performance. But as just a listener to the music, do the songs work on their own, or are they very clearly part of a larger piece, or how does that work for audio, in an audio sense?
I've been playing some of them since like 2014, I think, like my earliest one was.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote them a long time ago, and as things started to happen with coincidences, and yeah, just as life continued, with a play, and it was just another element to make it a little bit more of my own, and yeah, be able to present it in the way that I want. Yeah, I feel that it breaks up the piece nicely. I have, yeah, visual
Cool.
cues and stuff that do that as well. And yeah, it's just not me on a stage doing a monologue, which would be intense.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So are these songs that will be like, that have been and will be in your performance sets going forward? Like, it's not necessarily just something that's strictly related to the fringe play.
Oh no, yeah, I play them all the time. Yeah, like I wrote this one song called I won't say the whole title because it's a Charles Bukowski poem.
Okay.
Like that's one of my favorite ones to do right now for sure. And it just all of the elements of that, um to the point where Peter Fonda passed away once it was written.
Okay.
And yeah, he's one of the people that I mentioned in the play. And okay. See, it's too weird to talk about. You just have to go see the play. I could say it like the way I've written it.
Though I like that. I like that it's there's an air of mystery around it, right? It seems like you're having trouble defining it, which is kind of cool. I mean, there's a concept, and it's got obviously visual cues and songs and monologues, but the fact that you're having trouble sort of describing it, it almost makes it sound more interesting. I think that, like, because the concept is cool. The concept is cool with all the people from beyond the grave, and then you got these songs and yeah. So I mean, I kind of like the whether it's intentional or not, the air of mystery that surrounds your description of it.
Yeah, it's the only way I could explain it. Like, to write this play is it up in a nice little package.
Are you regularly a fringe goer? Like, is the Fringe Festival a big part of what you do in the summers, Winnipeg?
Well, my first fringe play that I ever saw was Matt Tapscott doing Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I loved it so much. And yeah, I was hooked from then. I started going by myself and getting the frequent Fringer pass. And yeah, like, if you're into plays, yeah, it'll save you a bit of money. And everything's being done online as well. So there's not all of that line thing, like you have to be there at a certain time or it sells out, or like you can only buy, I think it was 50% of tickets or something like that online. So I feel like it's a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, I have a QR code, like, so that people can buy tickets. That's cool.
Yeah, that is
I
really
like
cool.
that. I like waiting in line. Like, I definitely have that feeling. Yeah, the times are a little different now, and if people are safer by not doing that, that's fine too.
Yeah. That almost is part of the fringe experience, though, is when you hear of a show that's really good, you're gonna have to wait in line, and people are always getting there early, and there's it kind of adds to the buzz. But yeah, obviously during a pandemic, it makes sense to have a safer way to do it.
Yeah, no, it's a good option for sure. But yeah, I think I'll still have to stand in line. Yeah, but that's good. Hand out things.
For sure. Is the EP coming out after the run of shows, or what's the plan for the release of that?
I have set the release date for July 11th. And I was hoping to sort of have it on my Bandcamp. Like, it'll be released on Apple Music and like, I don't know, I have this DistroKid thing, so they release it on all these platforms, but I think I like Bandcamp the most. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm looking for local bands, I usually hit up Bandcamp.
Me too.
And everyone's on there. Yeah.
When are the actual shows happening? The actual dates of the Fringe show? That's probably important to get in there, right?
Yeah, the dates are July 13th to 24th, and I start on the 14th, and I end on the last day. Yeah, 8 shows, all scattered around. So it's one of them sure to fit your schedule, maybe. Yeah.
Have you done this quantity of shows of any kind before? Like, just such a tightly packed, amount of time with show after show after show?
No. Like, I usually, because I help host a open mic on Mondays, Caravan Open Mic.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and we do that at the Cube. So it's 2 songs every week, and that's sort of something to focus on. And like, yeah, my radio show. So I'm doing different things, but I'm not doing like the same thing over and over. I was a little worried about the repetition when I first started. Yeah, just having to do one thing so many times in that way, because like there's a time period. So if you want to get everything in that you're going to say you have to stick to the script and like, yeah. So something that's so alike the whole time. Like I like to switch things up. None of my set lists are ever the same. Yeah, like so this is a new thing to do the same thing all over and over and over. But like, I mean, I'm getting used to it in practice, so I think it'll be fine. It actually like it's weird to do the same thing over and over. Like, yeah, it sort of just it just flows
Yeah.
after a while. So yeah, that's nice.
Well, yeah, and I guess the more you do it too, the more honed it gets, and the more kind of, you know, the better you have it tightened to the timelines, and all the songs are. It's like practice after practice after practice, but just in front of an audience on top of your rehearsals you're doing already, right?
Yeah, I've definitely added in, like I've shortened it so that just in case people react and I get thrown off, like I would be able to get back on track, because I don't do it in front of anyone. Like there's no one to do it in front of. So yeah, having an audience is going to be something. I've singing's different. But I guess like you can't really see the audience. So I
Right.
feel, yeah, but they're not really laughing at my songs ever. And so that's what I've planned for. Like if anyone actually says something out loud while I'm playing or speaking, there's adjustment time.
Cool. How do people get tickets for this? I know you said online. Is it just off the Fringe Festival website? Do you have it on your social media or something like that?
Yeah, everything's linked to everything. So I have a Facebook and Twitter and a web page, and all of those things are linked there, and links to my music and stuff like that. So it's just www.taniskiln.com.
Cool.
So you can find everything there. And for Fringe performances, for all of them, yeah, you just go to winnipegfringe.com. You can find all of, like they list all the days, and then by time.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone that you want to see, it's pretty easy to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I found yours on there too, and they have a pretty good synopsis. Well, not really a synopsis, but a brief description. And then one other thing I wanted to ask you about is it says $1 from each admission is being collected for other women's problems.
Yes.
So,
Well, I get into it a bit because yeah, I feel I couldn't do this play without giving something back to people that are that don't have it as easy as I do. Yeah, like I do touch on abortion, and it's going with this Roe versus Wade
yeah,
overturning and women's rights being sort of very like, yeah,
it's
political
timely.
platforms and just like, yeah, you don't care about women anymore. And I go into all of that. And so I was talking with some people, and I think, yeah, probably the Women's Health Clinic for sure I will get. But yeah, it's not necessary that you buy full admission. I will have a giant container for any donations that anyone wants to make at the end. And yeah, I'm hoping to make life a little bit easier for someone that's going through a hard time.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Another reason to go check out the show.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
But yeah, hopefully people look at things a different way if you're not looking at it the way I am in my dimension. So,
Right.
yeah.
Cool.